Hello, welcome or welcome back to the YarnNYarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Welcome to day 7 of the 12 Cast Ons party for 2022, which is confusing me because we're now in 2023, but I don't need to go over that because I have chatted about why we're using the hashtag 2022 in previous videos. It is Thursday today. I've got a few errands to run today, but the weather is pretty grotty again. I still haven't shaken the last of the silly ear infection, so I'm feeling pretty wiped out, but we're going to ignore all of that stuff. We're going to roll the dice, choose a new project and get casting on. Before I do that, I'm trying to get better at this. Today I am wearing my Astrogal sweater. If I can stand up and show you a little better. I will put the designer name on the screen because I have completely forgotten. I made mine from some hand spun yarn. The fibre was originally from John Arbon. I really love this sweater. The only slight complaint I have about it is the neckline's maybe a titch too wide. It's stretched out a little bit over the few times that I've worn it, but I'm thinking I might go in and put some crochet stitches around the back just to tighten it up a little bit. But it's not big to the point of being annoying, it's just slightly wide to the point of sort of wearing something underneath it. You've got to kind of pick what you're wearing, if that makes sense, because it does show quite a lot. But yes, it's a beautiful pattern. It's just got like a twisted sort of stitch motif in the yoke, and then it's just plain stockingette. It's reverse stockingette, but you knit it inside out, so you don't have to do all of the purling, or at least I knit mine inside out. Okay, enough sweater chat. Let's get on and roll the dice. I say enough sweater chat, who knows, maybe we'll be casting on yet another sweater today. We shall soon see. This is not the clip you were probably expecting, and it's not the clip that I was expecting either. A little visit from Editing Ange, who has gone to put this video together and realised that while I distinctly remember revealing what was on the back of card number 10 yesterday and chatting at length to the camera about it, I obviously forgot to press record on my camera because no such clip exists. What a state, eh? Professional podcasting. Anyway, number 10, you will have to trust me, revealed that I was to cast on the Ripple camisole, which is a pattern by Jessie Maid. Oh, I just had to pause the camera then for a coughing fit, so if I'm looking a bit watery-eyed and red-nosed, it's just germs, ignore me. So the Ripple camisole, I've seen loads of different versions of this and it just looks fabulous on everybody. It's a kind of vest top, and I know a lot of people wear it as an outer garment, but my plan is to actually wear it as a vest, and I never thought I'd be knitting myself a woolly vest, but with the sort of energy crisis that we're going through now, I thought actually wouldn't it be really nice to have a woolly vest to keep me warm in the colder months. So I decided that I was going to cast this on, and I have some yarn in my stash that I've already picked out for this one, and I've got 2 skeins of yarn from Attic Spin Diet again. I'm not sponsored, I'm just a big fan. And this year I didn't buy too much yarn for myself, but I did participate in their British Birds Club. So they had a monthly club going for a good portion of the year where they were dyeing up yarns inspired by different birds. And one month I accidentally ordered 2 skeins in 2 separate orders, and Andy did kindly contact me and say, did you realise that you'd ordered 2 skeins? And I didn't, but I decided just to go ahead and have the 2 skeins anyway because the yarns were always beautiful. And it's the Wren shade, and as luck would have it, you know, these are me colours, aren't they? Beautiful sort of browny, orangey tones. I couldn't have been happier that I ended up with 2 skeins of yarn from that particular club. I need, I think, not quite 2 skeins for my size in the Ripple camisole vest top thingy. So I've decided I'm going to cast on using these. I believe it's a top that you knit with lots of negative ease. It's kind of got a rib to it. So yeah, I've heard so many good things about Jessie Maid's patterns, and I've not cast one on, I've not knit one, so now is the time. I don't think there's too much else for me to say. Oh, look at those cute little birdhouse stitch markers on the yarn. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. So cute. I'm going to get winding these up before I go downstairs, and then I'm going to head out and get my errands done, and hopefully we'll get casting on this afternoon. I say this afternoon, it's already past midday, having a late start to the day. I had several bouts of waking up in the middle of the night because of silly coughing fit. I've already picked out my project bag for this project too. I'm going to use a project bag that I made myself in these sort of lovely browny colours. It's not an exact match for the colours that are in the project, but this is a precious bag to me. I made it with scraps of fabric from my grand's fabric stash. So I like to try and use this bag as often as I can. Stop chatting and just get winding up your beautiful yarn. The sooner you do that, the sooner you can get your errands done, and the sooner we can cast on. I'm almost ready to cast on, and I'm currently sat at the laptop waiting for yesterday's video to upload. And I thought while I'm waiting for that, I'll go onto Ravelry and buy the pattern. And then I realised I do actually already own it in my library. So thanks to me of 6 months ago who decided they wanted to cast on this pattern and bought it at the time. Yeah, that was a little bonus surprise for me today. I'm actually going to cheat on today's cast on and do a little bit of spinning while I'm sat here. I'm trying to do 15 minutes a day on my Love Note spin, which is one of the projects I started last 12 cast ons, and I'm making some good steady progress on that this year just by doing that. So yeah, I'm going to sneak in my 15 minutes of spinning before I cast on. Shh, don't tell the cast on, please. It's Friday. I feel like I didn't take a whole ton of footage yesterday, and I've just gone to edit the first half of this video and I realised that I have missed a chunk. Like I thought I'd chatted at the camera and I hadn't, so I had to put a little bit extra in, which was shorter than the clip that I would have recorded. But anyway, it won't do any harm to have a slightly shorter 12 cast on vlog. Yeah, here as always on my Friday morning to chat to you about how I got on with my Ripple camisole yesterday. But before that, I'm going to check in with all of the wonderful projects that have been happening in our community. And I thought at this point we might be slowing down on the community cast-ons, but I've got over a page of cast-ons to chat to you about, which is just absolutely amazing. I'm so thrilled with the enthusiasm for which you have embraced this make-along again. And I want to just reiterate that for me, the ethos is to use some things that I already own to get some things on the needles that I've been wanting to get to and just haven't had the time or the inclination. It's not about making as many things as possible, which is why you can join in with just one cast on should you choose to do so. I want this to be as inclusive as possible, and of course you can join in with your knitting, of course, your crochet, your weaving, your spinning, any fibre related craft really. So if you're feeling left behind because you've only cast on one project, please don't feel like that. You are most welcome as part of our make along, and I just love to hear about all of the projects that you're working on, whether it be 1 or 12. Okay, so Lizzie has cast on some socks for her travel knitting project, and Lizzie said that actually today, as I'm recording this, she's going out for a day in London with her friends. So I hope you have an amazing day, Lizzie. That sounds like a brilliant time, and yeah, I love visiting the capital, I really do. Jeanette, over the last few days, has been casting on aplenty and has now got to her 12th cast on. So over the last few days, Jeanette has started a spinning project, some colourwork socks, and her final cast on is the weekend walking mitts. So thank you so much, Jeanette, for joining me for the full 12. I have loved seeing all of your cast on pictures over on Instagram, and I look forward to seeing more pictures as the projects progress. Valerie has been flicking some locks from a border Leicester fleece that she has and is hoping to start a sweater project once the yarn is finished. I think she said she's got 3 skeins so far and is aiming for 5, so that's amazing. I do love a good fibre prep project, and I'm looking forward to getting back to some fibre prep once I have done my cast on portion of the make along. Angela has cast on some vanilla socks. Deb has cast on a Milo vest, and if you remember, Deb has been casting on lots of projects for charity, and Deb shared in her comment that she lives in Queensland in Australia and the winters there are quite short, and she loves to knit, and her family and herself have got enough woolly things for their short winters, which is why she's embarked upon charity making. So that's amazing. And I noticed that Deb has also had a reply from the lovely Christine, who lives in that same area of Australia. So I hope you have a good chat and are able to make a connection. Joan has been casting on some sweaters, and she's cast on a wrong side, a warm up and a daily ritual raglan, and is about to start a self-designed simple stripy cowl using up some single skeins of worsted weight yarns in her stash. So I love that. I just love that. It's always great to group together these single skeins that we've purchased because we fell in love with the colour or we wanted to support a dyer, and be able to sort of bring them all together from your stash to make one lovely squishy project. I just, yeah, love that. Keita said that she is blaming me as a bad influence for her cast-ons, which I'm happy to accept. Blame away. I'm happy to enable and encourage and support everyone through all of their cast-ons. As long as you don't put pressure on yourself, as I said earlier, the idea is not to pressure you into casting on all the things. It's just to encourage you to use some of the things that you have, or to get some patterns on the needles that you've been wanting to get to for ages. Yeah, if it stops being fun, then stop. But Keita says she's cast on a sock and has some yarn for a cardigan that's just arrived, but she hasn't decided on a pattern yet for that cardigan. So I hope you have fun searching for a pattern. I had a lovely time the other day when I cast on that hat with the merino skewer yarn, just searching through my pattern books and having a little look at my Ravelry library and just kind of dreaming about all of the cast-ons and making plans. And yeah, it's half of the fun, isn't it? Beverly says she's been working on a gift sock and she almost accidentally added a second heel to a sock that she'd already had a heel to, so that made me chuckle. And Beverly has started a new spin. She is trialling doing some thick and thin singles and hoping to do some auto wrapping to make some art yarn. So good luck with that, Beverly. Art yarn is always, I think, a real skill, and it's much trickier than people make it look when you watch their videos on YouTube. Sal has cast on an Elton cardigan, which is a pattern by Johi Locatelli, a Sunnyside sweater, a bejeweled scarflet, and a John Arbon shawl. And she's also cast on some double knit socks for her husband. Her husband is going to be 70 soon, and she has picked out some bright yellow yarn, which just sounds absolutely amazing. A lovely pair of DK bright yellow squishy socks. Who doesn't need those? I certainly do. Patricia has cast on 2 pairs of socks, a hot water bottle cover from a Marie Wallen pattern, or Marie Wallen design, which Marie Wallen is very famous for her colour work. So I have not seen the pattern, I don't know what it's called, but I've got this image of this absolutely gorgeous, cosy, amazing, really smart hot water bottle cover. She's also cast on some Ben Nevis mitts and has plans for some other projects too. Tracy has started her cast on number 3. She's making a bits and bobs, which I think is a blanket pattern from the Bakery Bears, but instead of making a blanket, Tracy's going to turn hers into a wrap. And she said she's been using a advent calendar, like some advent minis that she got back in 2018. So that's amazing to find use for that wonderful advent. It sounds like the perfect project. Kathy has been carding up some Gotland fleece, and she said she's been blending it with some blue face Leicester, some bamboo and some rambouillet just to soften it up a little bit, which again, more fibre prep. I love hearing about your fibre prep project. She's also started 2 pairs of socks and has plans to knit her first sweater. So good luck with that, Kathy. I hope you find the perfect pattern for you and the perfect yarn combination, and yeah, just go for it, go for it. Ginny has finished 2 blankets for her local cat rescue centre. She said one was a granny stitch blanket and the other was a combination of doubles and trebles, all worked up into 2 crochet blankets. Those were her first 2 cast ons and they're now finished. And Ginny has started 2 more cast ons, a lap blanket which is going to be donating to her local food bank, and also a meditation shawl for one of her Instagram friends. And again, Ginny does some absolutely wonderful projects for charity. Such an inspiration. I find it really inspiring. All of you lovely makers out there who are making for charity, I'm hoping to get a charity project on the go for myself this year again. I tried to make hats every month last year. Didn't quite make every month, but I did have a good collection of hats to donate. So yeah, I'm looking for something to do this year, but I think about that more once I've got the 12 cast ons out of the way, I think. And then last but not least, Celeste has started a wool and honey pattern, which I think is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, if I'm remembering rightly. It's got this beautiful sort of honeycomb yoke. I've seen some amazing versions of that pattern. I've always been tempted to cast it on, but I hope you have loads of fun with your wool and honey. Celeste said it's very addictive watching that yoke grow, and she's made some good progress already. So as always, thank you to everyone who has shared their cast ons or who just shared a comment to let me know what you were working on. I love to hear about all of the progress that you're making, both on your works in progress, on your new cast ons, and some people have cast on as many projects as they are planning to and have gone back and started working through those. So I'm loving hearing about all of the wonderful making that's going on out there in the Yarn and Yarns community. It keeps me motivated and really inspired, and I know a lot of people have commented to say that they find it really inspirational to hear about all of the cast ons and that everyone is finding new patterns thanks to everyone else in the community. So yeah, wonderful job keeping each other going and providing lots of inspiration for each other. Okay, so in terms of my ripple camisole, now this is the project. You might remember a few days ago, if you've watched all of the cast on videos, that I was remarking how unusual it was that I hadn't had to do any ribbing for my projects to that point. Obviously yesterday I cast on a hat which involved some ribbing, but this project, the ripple camisole, is the project which will make up for all of the ribbing that I missed in the first 5 days, because this entire thing is basically a tube of 3x3 rib which I knew going into, but I don't think it quite registered with my lurgy addled brain. So this is going to be an absolutely fabulous project to take out and about with me on the go, because it's going to be pretty simple knitting until I get to like the top of the camisole where I need to do some shaping. But here is my progress. I did quite a lot of knitting. That represents quite a lot of knitting. 4 ply and 3x3 rib. You know, ribbing takes a little bit longer than just stocking stitch, and so yeah, I'm really happy with the progress. I'm loving working with this yarn. It's knitting up beautifully. Because it's indie dyed yarn, I am alternating the skeins, so I wound up both of the skeins that I had, and I'm not doing a helical alternation because it's of the ribbing. I think helical works best in stocking stitch, to my understanding anyway. I haven't really looked too much into that technique, other than I know how to do it if I'm working a stockingette project. But I'm just carrying my yarns up at the beginning of the row, just swapping them over every other row, and I'm getting this really quite fun sort of almost like a spiral stripe going on so far. So I don't know whether that will continue as I work through the project. Let's try and get that bit of yarn out of the way. And yeah, I'm just loving how this yarn is working up. It's a joy to work with. It's going to be, as I say, a great project. Like, so far I have not been able to cast on any socks, but this is going to be my great sort of out and about project, I think, because it's just going to be simple, 3x3 rib, don't have to think about it. Easy to do when I'm chatting or if I'm on the go, so for that I will be able to make some good progress on this in the not too distant future. It seems really weird that this is going to be a garment for me because it seems so tiny, look. Compared to me it seems tiny, but the pattern does recommend to work with 8 to 10 inches of negative ease, because rib is really stretchy, and obviously it's designed to be a sort of form-fitting, nice sort of woolly camisole top. So I'm going to trust the pattern and go with it. But yes, at this point I have nothing to do but carry on and knit another 14 inches or so of ribbing before I get to try it on and then get to do the shaping if the fit is right. So it's going to be a lovely sort of meditative project, just working round and round with the beautiful yarn, watching the colours change as we go, and yeah, can't wait to carry on another one. That, well, I'm excited to carry on with all of the projects, but that's the joy and the pain of the cast-ons. The joy, getting all the things on the needles that you've been wanting to make for a while. The pain is doing them all at once so that you don't have time to work on them all again straight away. I need to get going and figure out what I'm casting on today, so I shall say goodbye to you for now. I hope that you will continue to comment, let me know if you've been casting on anything new, or just let me know what you have been working on, and as long as there are cast-ons, I will continue to give shout outs on the videos to let you know what has been going on in the community. So hopefully there will be more cast-ons to let you know about tomorrow. I hope you will join me for that video, but until we do get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now. Bye.